Welcome, everyone, to the homecoming reunion and information call. It's a pleasure to see all of you here. It's so lovely to see so many faces who I have had the great pleasure and opportunity to meet in person in the past at a homecoming. Um, just a bit of housekeeping stuff. We're going to drink a little cacao together here very quickly, shortly. Um, if you're set up as an attendee and you want to be a well on screen with us, which is preferred, um, just raise your hand and then we'll know to add you. It'll be hard for Yanthi or I to sort of keep up. Geraldina, it's lovely to see you.
Oh, hello.
I'm going to make you a co-host too, right?
Okay.
Uh, for those of you who don't know, Geraldina runs, orchestrates, organizes, keeps me in line for each of our homecoming events. And Geraldine, I'll put you on the spot at some point and have you say a few words about this whole thing. Let me tell you a little bit about why we do this call. One, we want to reconnect with people. For those of you who haven't attended a homecoming, one of the things that you will learn when you do attend a homecoming is that you're going to create this amazing global family of people who care about you and who support you. And it's fun to reconnect with that community. Um, I think it's also an opportunity for us to share a little bit about what Geraldina has planned for us at the next homecoming, to talk about some of the changes in dates and timing, and then to answer questions. For anyone who has never attended before, this is a really good place to hear from people who have actually been there, what it's like, and how to prepare and get ready for it. Nicole, it's lovely to see you. Nicole has been to every homecoming.
Thank you, Rick.
Is that right? You've been to all of them.
All of
Yes,
yes.
all of them. There, I saw somebody else on this call. Emily has been to all of them. Has anybody else been to all of them besides Brenda?
Brenda.
Has been to all of them. Yes. Um, that's quite, as we're approaching our 5 year anniversary. I don't know, maybe we should all get awards or something. Um, but
I have to get my last. I have every color of the little cacao necklaces except one.
these
Oh,
little doodads right here,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
this, yeah.
Oh, actually, I don't have mine on today, but there's only one color I have yet to get, unless you make
You
new ones,
know,
new
right, I
colors.
was going to say they might add new colors. You never know. Um, yeah, what Nicole is talking about is this necklace that I'm wearing. Everybody who attends homecoming gets one of these. Look, there's a lot of us at homecoming, usually upwards of 85 in total, and it's hard to keep track when we're moving from venue to venue of who's with us. And while we all very quickly learn everybody's names and faces, it's nice to have something that identifies everyone as an attendee of the event in the beautiful town of San Marcos. Um, like I mentioned, today is an opportunity to ask questions and to talk about our experiences, and for those who have been there in the past to reconnect. But before we dive into any of that, does anybody have any of the good stuff on them? Um, I would love it if you could all share with me or pretend to share with me if you prefer um, a little cacao. It is an absolute joy to welcome this group back together. I hope that all of us will receive a little brighter smile in our heart today from this event. I call in the spirit of cacao. I call in Keith. I call in all of our friends and guides. I pour their good intentions into my cup. Hmm. May each of you find a bit more of yourself through this process, through this event, and in this cup of cacao. Go ahead and drink. Oh, um, when I was last in Guatemala last month, Andres sent me home with some of the latest cacao. And that's what I'm drinking today. And it is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely tastes wonderful. There was a little chat in part of the practitioner group yesterday about how long to reach the peak of the way cacao is going to make you feel, which I never really put it in those terms before. And everybody's a little different. And I find my receptiveness to cacao changes and adjusts that time it takes for me to start to feel really open hearted. And lately, and I don't know if it's just this new batch of cacao that I'm drinking, but right now it's about 10 minutes. And so if I start smiling and babbling here very soon, you'll know why. Uh, Courtney, it's lovely to see you here. You're in Hawaii.
No, I live in Texas, but you may be thinking I just got back from a vacation. Well, dog sitting
Well,
in St. Martin.
I'm looking at the landscape that you're sitting in front of, and I
Oh,
just
I'm in
assumed.
Thailand. This is Thailand.
Oh, okay, good to know.
Yes, I'm there right now. Give me two more sips of cacao and I'll be there.
Beautiful. Alicia, lovely to see you. Not as an exotic locale, but you've been to two homecomings, is that right?
Two. Yes. Two in a row. Two for two.
Two in a row. Two in a row. And Miriam's on this call, and Miriam has been to Guatemala. She sat on Keith's porch years ago, but I don't think you've been to a homecoming yet, have you?
No, I wanted to come to the first one and then COVID hit and then pregnancy hit. So,
Not quite in the same way,
not
right?
in the same
Yeah.
way, but in a row where I was just not able to travel.
It's lovely to see so many beautiful smiling faces here today. Thank you so much. Look, I mentioned that we do this call as an opportunity to reconnect with this family. We do this as an opportunity to share a little bit about what Geraldina has planned for us in this coming year, and then to answer questions from people. And I want to tell the people who have questions, go ahead and raise your hand now, and we'll start a queue and we'll start answering your questions as we sort of go through all of this. Um, I often get asked why we do a homecoming retreat, why we do a retreat in Guatemala, why we call it homecoming, but generally, why? What is the purpose of this? Um, in general, it is an opportunity to immerse yourself in the community and the culture that exists in the birthplace of the ceremonial great cacao movement. In the past, it was an opportunity to spend a lot of time with Keith, the man who was the catalyst for that movement. But since he passed in January of this year, we shift our focus just a tiny bit to be more about connecting not only to who you could be, who you are meant to be, your highest joy, but also the place and the people that make the cacao you love possible. Um, we also do it to learn from each other. There's a really beautiful opportunity when you spend 7, 8 days with a group of people in continual communion with cacao and doing many different beautiful types of adventures to really get a better understanding of who you are through the mirror of someone else. And the nature of this company and through its founder is of love and understanding and acceptance. You will find when you come to homecoming that you end up with a very large community of people who have your back and who want to support you in your growth and in your spiritual journey. For those of you who don't know, I should have done this at the very beginning. My name is Rick Wessels. I'm the CEO of Keys Cacao. I am the luckiest entrepreneur in the world. In 2016, Keith and Barbara asked me to be their partner in this thing that we now call Keys Cacao. And, well, this is one of the fun things that I get to do because of that job. Yara, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that I know you have planned for us, and I'm going to get some of it wrong. And you have to stop me and say, "Oh no, this is what that means." Are you willing?
Yeah, of course.
So every year, Yara creates a theme around which the event is organized, and this year it is the hive. Yes, got that part right. Good. I'm not going to reveal too much of that, but you'll see the idea of a hive and of bees in particular woven throughout the event. As we have done every year, we will make a one-day journey into the rainforest and visit cacao trees. We will see cacao growing on the trees. We will sit under those trees and share cacao in community and in ceremony. That trip into the rainforest was always meant to mimic a trip that Keith gifted me in 2016 in my first trip to Guatemala. And it is a beautiful experience to sit where the cacao grows and to feel its amazing abundance. And that's a really fun trip for me as the CEO now, because we take all of the people who work with us in Guatemala on that trip. That means the women who hand peel the beans and the kids who do the grinding and the packaging in what we call the taller, Spanish for workshop. They get to go into the rainforest. When we made that first trip at the first homecoming, some of the women who peel for us let me know that they had never left the lake before, that this was their first trip anywhere. And at the end of that day, we stop at a restaurant and we have a lovely meal as a huge group. And the place has a pool and a sauna, and all the kids and all of the attendees, if they choose, get to go swimming. And it's a big fun thing for me to share with them. That's just one day. On another day, we're going to visit this unbelievable location on the lake called Casa Floresta. For those of you who attended last year, you can just do this right here because you know how beautiful this place is. It looks like you're on the Italian Riviera almost, even though you're literally just on the lake right around the corner from San Marcos. It's a remarkable location. It's absolutely stunning. They have this amazing room where we will receive many hours long sound journey and eat a meal there, and it's fantastic. Keys Cacao now employs three, and this I would know I will screw up. Trained and initiated hat or nans, which are people, male or female, who have studied the Mayan calendar. Am I even close, Geraldina?
No.
Will you please share the credentials that you, Andres, and Gisela share?
But long story short, yes. To put it in a few words, yes. But so an Akij is an spiritual guide and we have been in training with the tats and nuns from the Czech culture to be able to be spiritual leaders, like not leaders, but guides. I think the right word is guides. And and that are able to connect with the element of fire and run fire ceremonies according to the Mayan cosmovision, which involves the calendar.
I got one or two words right. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Look, it is a like astonishing pleasure for me to know that we work with people who are so deeply ingrained in Mayan culture. Mayan culture is deeply ingrained in the place that we are going to be gathering for homecoming, and that the three of them will offer and share with our entire group a Mayan fire ceremony is another highlight for me of this event. We'll, as we do every year, we'll spend time actually in the workshop of Keith's Cacao. We will meet the workers. We will see what they do in processing the cacao that we love, and we'll learn from all of that. I'm extremely excited to announce that we will have a young Honduran practitioner with us named Alexa, who is a UNESCO-sponsored artist representing all of Honduras in Europe right now. She will be with us to share cacao and guide us on a creativity experience. I know this hasn't been totally defined yet, but the discussion that I heard around this was let's drink cacao and paint away the things that keep us from being who we really are. And I'm super excited about that. And then I know we're going to go to the Eagle's Nest. We will share an ecstatic dance with led by a fantastic DJ. We'll have a meal up on Eagle's Nest. If you don't know what Eagle's Nest is, just go Google it right now, Eagle's Nest, Guatemala, and check out the view that you're going to be experiencing of the lake. It is phenomenal. And then we'll have several different magic people.
So looking forward to that weekend! Exclamation point.
Good, good. And we try every year to do something very cultural experience like that you wouldn't be able to do other places. And we're going to go visit a place that makes honey. Geraldina, will you just tell us a little bit about what's special about this honey and maybe just a hint of what we could expect about that experience?
Yes. So one of my intentions to share with the group this year, because everything will be created around the energy of the hive, like hive slash community, and the working of all the bees together for a higher purpose, as we all do. Like we all cacao practitioners and facilitators, we are like a kind of a hive that we work in different areas, but we all work for a higher purpose, which is the sharing of the cacao and the returning of the cacao into the world. So I see this homecoming as the moment that all the bees come back to the hive and are in there sharing and doing whatever, like nourishing and sharing whatever news we have. And then when homecoming will be like ending, like we will be ready to go out again and make our magic happen, just as bees do themselves. So as part of that, I want us to go and see the actual Mayan bees that are very important in the Mayan cosmovision and for Mayan people. And so these bees are called meliponas. They don't have like the sting. So they cannot like bite us, just in case anyone was wondering about that.
This was required for the legal part of homecoming. Yes, no
Yes.
stinging bees.
And so what happens is that they do not produce as much quantity of honey as the regular bees produce, but the one they produce is above 1,000 times above in medical. I'm sorry.
We might need to get Yarlina some of this medicine honey. Let me take over for you, dear. Look, I tried some of this honey the last time I was in Guatemala. It is fantastic. And the event that she has planned for us is to go and visit and learn about this very traditional way that these bees are managed and that this honey is created. I think it'll be a really, truly wonderful experience in addition to homecoming. Yeah, I'll ask which cacao forest are we going to? I'm not going to tell you. It's a special secret, but it is not one that you have been to before, right? I will miss the one that we went to. The one that we went to traditionally, we would have to either walk up this enormously steep, long path, of which I almost had a heart attack at the end of that, or we would ride up in the back of pickup trucks, which was enormously fun. But my inner attorney always sat there and went, "Oh Lordy, someone's going to fall out of the back of a truck," and that'll be that. Thankfully, that never happened. So that's a little glimpse of what we're going to do at homecoming in 2025. I see lots of faces on here that I recognize, and I see several faces here that I don't. And so I want to open it up. Uh, who has questions about homecoming or traveling to Guatemala or what they can expect that either I or somebody experienced in the group might be able to answer for you? You can just wave at me or you can raise your hand in Zoom or whatever you want to do. Or does anyone have questions they would like answered? As we go through this process and continue with this sort of reconnecting, if you have a question, just start talking or wave your hands. We will be happy to answer it for you. Hey, Kelly, are you coming to homecoming this year?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet. Oh, well, I will tell you, look.
Thanks for calling me out.
Yeah, well, we'd love to see you back.
I
And
really
look,
would love to.
just so everybody knows, we have at the beginning of this week, we set out 10% discount tickets or early birds, as we call them. And we just had another ticket sell while we were on this call. Thank you yes, that was you, Courtney. Thank you very much. And so we're down to 3. And so if you're thinking about it and you want to save 10%, or if you're a practitioner and want to save 25%, now's the time to do it for sure. I am shocked. We don't have any questions. No one's like, "Oh my God, what's it like in Guatemala? How do I get there? What airport do I fly into? Will they take my money? Right? Should I bring bug spray and rain shoes or what?" None of that. No questions. Oh, we got a question. We got 2 questions. Okay, let's start with Courtney. Courtney, what do you got?
I don't have a question, but since nobody's hand was up, I wanted to share something. So there was a conversation the other day in the practitioner group about us being in the Trecena of Toj, Toj, which is symbolized by the shark in the Mayan calendar, which I've been working closely with. I also work closely with spirit animals. And Kelly Santiago can tell you this. We were on a call the other day, and it's amazing what comes up with animals. And I just felt called to pull a card for us on this call, and I did. And guess what card came up? It's the shark. You can't make
Oh, I
this stuff
thought
up. So I wanted to share that the shark came up. There's really strong Toch energy coming up for us. And the shark says, trust your instincts and to be able to discern the truth. The shark is all about trusting your instincts and you're opening your third eye. So I just wanted to share that. Okay, onward to questions.
My family always told me the shark was all about eating. Um, uh, Everything about it. life is about eating for me. And so let me ask you a question, not about the shark or the day that it is in the Mayan cosmovision, but let me ask you a question. Did you know Kelly Santiago before homecoming?
I did not, and she's my best bud in the whole world now. I love her. That was a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
It
so much
is.
of that happens, Rick. I'm glad you mentioned that because there's so many just close. I mean, I actually was weeping when the call started as people were logging in. I was like, Nicole is here, Mahal is here, Latu, Ella. Like it was like Cindy. Oh my, it was just this overwhelming. I saw Alicia sitting there smiling, Latu, and yeah, Rick, I think that is key to point out to everybody. Like literally just seeing all of your faces together. Like I was sitting here weeping, just so beautiful to see each of you and together is, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. As the person who's traditionally been responsible for marketing homecoming, right? For putting out into the world what people could have to expect with this, you work through a process of why are you doing it? And in the very beginning, it was, oh, I just want people to have similar experiences to like what I had on my first trip to Guatemala. It was so powerful. Let's duplicate that. And while that's certainly still true, the most fun for me is seeing how people connect with someone else or groups of other people and how that continues. We end up setting up a WhatsApp group for every year at homecoming. It's the easiest way to communicate with a whole bunch of humans that have been set loose on a town and trying to keep them all coordinated across several days. And that WhatsApp group, uh, people are still talking in it. They're still communicating in it. I don't know that there's much higher call from the spirit of cacao than that for us. So maybe Keys Cacao's goals in the world are get you to drink some cacao and then make a bunch of friends. Maybe that's that simple, right? I CIL has her hand up, but I know that Tori had her hand up, and Tori hasn't been to homecoming before. And so, do you still have a question, Tori, or is he kind of waving at me?
Hey,
Like,
yeah,
hey,
sorry. Hi. Yeah, I was just popping in the chat to see if there were other families that were traveling, if it would be appropriate for my 13-year-old to come along with us as part of a home ed journey. Cacao is quite a big part of our family life, so it's something I didn't really think too much about. I was listening to the activities and couldn't see anything that he couldn't be there for, but I wasn't too sure.
so I know a little bit about your son, and but I don't know enough to answer. Oh yeah, absolutely, everything is good, right? And so you and I should have a conversation separately just about that to check in on all of it, right? And then bringing your husband, look, never advised, right? Like just that's crazy talk, right? Um,
Because you met
uh,
him or just husband
no,
full
I've
stop?
never met your husband. It's just in general. So we've had couples travel together and it works out great. We've had couples travel with kids. And in some of those situations in the past, one of the adults would stay behind and watch the kids while the other was off doing homecoming, right? And so that's one possibility. Certainly children are welcome, right? And they can be there for that. Mahala, you travel with your partner. I don't know if you guys are actually married or not, so I don't know whether I can call him your husband, right? But you traveled with your partner last year. Was that good or a disaster?
Yeah, it was good. He's not my husband yet. We're trying. Um, yeah, no, it was good. It worked really well for us, and we home educate our 11 and 13-year-olds, and we were thinking of bringing them for next year, but they will not cope with homecoming at all. Um, and so we were just thinking of coming out for the time and sort of being around so we could spend time with people. But I know they wouldn't cope with the majority of homecoming. They might cope with some trips and things, but they wouldn't cope with most of it. their attention span.
They would attention span, so it would be hard to sit in ceremony. And
they are both autistic and in different ways. So I was listening, and the art thing would be great for my 13-year-old. That's their thing. But the 11-year-old wouldn't cope with sitting still or being around lots of different people all the time. So we would probably not buy tickets for that. But we want to be there. We want them to meet everybody, but in a way they can cope with. So we need to have a think about it.
well, we're happy to talk to you about that too. And Victoria, just send me a note and we'll set up a time to have a call.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Or if there's other people doing the same kind of thing, then maybe we could get together as families and come up with, you cover me here, I'll cover you here, or if there's anything that we can do to support each other through it. That I'm spitballing here, but
No. And both you
might
and
be nice
Mahala,
to get there.
both you and Mahala have similar circumstances, and you're both in the UK, right?
Right.
And so I'm going to ask Mahala, will you connect with Victoria and maybe set up a conversation? You have been there. You understand very much what homecoming is like, and it might be very helpful, maybe more helpful than I can be. Oh, I'm sorry for making you wait, Yael. How are you?
Not a problem at all, and quite appropriate, as I'm sure you know. I have more of a statement than anything. Well, first of all, I'm expecting my shipment of 50 bricks to come in literally any minute. UPS has just said they're going to be here any minute with my shipment of 50 bricks. So I'm hoping it's from this new batch that you're talking about, or maybe it'll be the next one. It'll be the next one. Okay, cool. I just wanted to say, so and Courtney, you stole my thunder, girl. No, no, I mean, no, seriously. Up until being on this call, I was seriously thinking of not attending. And here I've been to all four, as Rick said in the beginning. And then I saw Courtney, and then I saw Brenda, and then I saw Nicole, and then I saw Alicia, and of course I saw Rick and Ayanthi and Ellen. And I just was just like, and then I was just like, just for me, only because finances are an issue. And also I'm going to be doing a retreat actually in Guatemala. I was planning on doing it at the end of January, but since homecoming's been moved up, I'm going to have to rethink that. But I'm going to go. Now, after seeing all of you on the call, I can't not go. I can't not be with all of you. And as Rick said, as Courtney so eloquently said, yes, I've done all the, these activities with the exception of the bee thing and the new cacao forest before, but it's not about that. It's about being with all of you. Yeah, Courtney's like, you're welcome. To me, she said privately, you're welcome. It's about that, but it's not about that. It's being with all of you. It's being with all the practitioners. It's period, the end. And then, and knowing that Keith is with all of us in that. If you're on the fence, I can tell you there is nothing like being with all of these angelic beings. Because of going to Keith's cacao ceremony, I met Johanna, and some of you know her. She's out of Colombia, and she was at the second and third Keith's Cacao homecoming. She and I are doing a retreat in Colombia in October. That all came from me going to homecoming. I would have never met her. And she's like such a soul sister. And Courtney, I mean, just all of you. So please, like, if you're on the fence, just do it. Just do it. I'm going to do it. Just do it. Because
thank you very much for the heartfelt sales pitch. And look, let me just say, look, if if you're looking for a sign, it's probably Yael telling you to just do it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot express enough. There is nothing like being with all of these beautiful people. There's nothing in the world like being with all of you. And how can I miss it? 5 years in a row, got to keep my streak going. So I will be there.
I'm glad to
Thank
hear
you for
that.
doing, Rick. Thank you for doing this call. See, you already got one more just from doing this call.
Uh, it, thank you. And I want to make sure I capture some of these questions that are being asked. Where's Nadia? Is Nadia still on this call? Nadia, are you still here?
I'm here. I'm here. Hi, everyone.
Hello. It's good to hear you. I saw you earlier. Lovely to see you again.
Lovely to see
How,
you.
you're in London, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
That's fabulous. You said planning to travel with your husband, but he doesn't want to attend for now,
Yeah,
right?
for now.
Look,
You
that's
never
totally
know.
fine. That's totally fine. And you asked, are there other rooms? Look, so as a part of homecoming, we locked down this eco hotel called La Paz. And a lot of the events and everyday's breakfast is held at La Paz, and it sort of becomes the centerpiece of where homecoming is taking place. And by locking that down, they have a series of rooms available that we offer to people who want to stay. That is not the only option. I will tell you that majority of people buy just a ticket and then rent a hotel somewhere else or an Airbnb. Let me tell you a little bit about what La Paz is like so you understand. It is not the Hilton. Okay? It is not the Hilton, right? It is not the Red Roof Inn. All right? It is I'm sharing US based examples. That's what I know, right? And so let me they're very comfortable, right? You'll have a bed, but you'll likely be sharing a room with someone else or someone else's, up to six different someone else's, right? And you'll be sharing a bathroom, and there's no hot water. I stayed the first two homecomings at a room that was had a double bed in it. My wife and I stayed there. It had its own private bath. It was the only one like that's available. It's already been rented, so that's no longer available. And so, what most people do if they don't want to stay at La Paz, which is very inexpensive to stay at, um, if they're not willing to rough it a little bit and are perturbed or put off by the idea of having to take cold showers, then you need to rent something else. There are several really lovely hotels in San Marcos that will accommodate you, that have warm water, that are clean, that you have a private room and a private bath, right? And I can recommend El Dragon, Lush. What are some of the other newer ones, Geraldina? They're out of my price range, right? But what are some of the other newer, really nice hotels that are out there?
Kula Maya also,
Yeah.
Lush also, and Eagle's Nest has accommodations. It's far in the mountain, but also has accommodations.
We stayed at Eden on
And
the lake last year, and that was quite cheap.
What was that? Where?
Eden,
Eden,
right by the dock,
yeah,
and it was
that's
really
new
cheap.
also. And I think there will be renovating what it used to be El Lago, Hostel del Lago, and now it's called Hotel. So I think there will be renovation over that. But I will highly suggest you to stay. If you are not willing to stay in La Paz, I will recommend El Dragon. I think that's a very good choice, actually.
And typically where I stay. Yeah.
And it's nearby, it's easy access, it has lake view, so it's a nice option.
That's the one that had the like structure, like the sculpture kind of a dragon outside.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. And
That's right.
their pizzas are amazing. So
Yeah. Hey, I want you to know that I had the pizza at Ati, which is right next door to El Dragon, and it is almost as good as El Dragon's. So,
so still we will go to El Dragon.
so I hope that that helps a little bit, Nadia. We'd love to see you and your husband there this year. That would be wonderful.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Courtney mentioned husband wants to come to some things, but not others. We typically try really hard not to do this because it makes Geraldina's life miserable. But you said something in here that I wanted to make sure everyone understood. You said, like Thomas's sound ceremony. Thomas is not joining us this year. The sound ceremony is going to be held by the people who were trained by Thomas and who own Casa Floresta. And they're delightful and lovely and deeply, deeply experienced. But yeah, we can, you bring your husband along, we're going to drag him to ceremony at some point, you know, or try to anyway.
I totally agree.
Yeah. And as a part of the calendar and the structure of the event, we have each morning an optional come before breakfast, some type of experience, right? Um, what do you call those? The morning rituals, right? And Geraldina wanted to remind me to let everybody know that those slots or the morning rituals, she chooses from people who are attending homecoming. And so if presenting at homecoming is something that you want to do, just know that those time slots are open, but you need to be have bought a ticket, right? We learned our lesson years ago trying to schedule that with people that we thought would enjoy it and do it, and then they're like, "Well, I can't make it now." And so it's easier to say, let's find out who's going to be amazing and talented and is on the roster before we pick those spots. Is that what you wanted me to say about that, or is there more, Geraldina?
No, that's exactly what I meant.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you.
I got something right on. Hope Hughes is asking, are there offsite accommodations close enough to walk? Look, that's a great question, Hope, and we would love to see you there. San Marcos is very small and very walkable in terms of distance, but also you need to understand it's on the side of a hill. And so if walking is difficult for you, you'll want to find accommodations that are closer to La Paz than others. Nothing is more than a 10-minute walk away. The Dragon, where I like to stay, is about a 6-minute walk at a snail's pace, and it's almost not uphill at all. And so it's very easy for someone of my level of fitness, right? But that's something to keep in mind. But there are many, many accommodations. If you need to catch transportation in San Marcos, there are no Ubers, there are no taxis. There are only what we call tuk-tuks. And if you don't know what a tuk-tuk is, imagine a small tricycle, motorized, that has a cabin on the back of it that will hold two people sitting behind a driver, right? That's a tuk-tuk. And that's how people get around in town all the time, or when they need to go way up the side of the mountain to their job and that kind of thing. And so most everything that you can get at rent to stay at that is listed as in San Marcos is an easy walk to where La Paz is. Another good question from Hope. Is there a common connecting flight? The better way to think about this, no, there is no common connecting flight. Most flights from the US are coming in from Dallas or Miami or Houston, right? So almost everything filters through one of those three airports. While many of them do arrive on similar schedules on different days of the week, what we do instead is we're going to add everybody to a Facebook group for homecoming once they buy a ticket. And then as you get closer to the time of arriving, work with the people in the group to coordinate a ride together, right? Some people will be at the airport and they'll need to wait an hour or two for the others to arrive to then share a private car from the airport to San Marcos. I'm there a lot. I use a couple of different services. I work with a guy named Tony or Mario. We work with a woman named Martha who arranges a lot of different drivers. Both are very reputable. Both are very safe. It's the least expensive version of a private car that you can find. There are other ways of getting to the lake if you're very budget conscious. You can take what we call a chicken bus and ride it down to Panajachel, which is at the far eastern end of the lake, and then catch a lancha, which is the boat taxi from Panajachel, which is about a 40-minute boat ride across the lake to San Marcos. That can be done as well, but typically we recommend if finances can do it. And it's usually, if you're doing the car by yourself, it ends up working to be about $80 for the entire trip. Now, how long is the trip? The trip from the airport to San Marcos without traffic is about 4 hours. Okay. If you hit it at the wrong time and you get into traffic, it will take you longer. I have had trips that took me 7 hours to get there. One other thing to know about this car ride, Guatemala is a very mountainous country. And so a lot of the ride is corners and back. And then when you hit the last 45 minutes, the trip from the top of the old volcanoes that form Lake Atitlan down to San Marcos, it's about 45 minutes of literally continual switchbacks. And so if you get motion sick, get yourself one of those wristbands or take some Dramamine and you'll be just fine. Close your eyes and go to sleep, right? You'll be just fine. If it's a beautiful day when you're coming down the mountain, you'll want to keep your eyes open because it is stunning in terms of the views. Just checking here for some other questions. Okay,
Rick,
so
I want
go
to add
ahead.
on that, and let's see if I have the enough voice to do it. I want to share for the accommodation part for those who are planning on staying outside the La Paz property. It is very tempting to stay in another town. Yes, because you might see maybe some other hotels or whatever, or Airbnbs, even cheaper, like in, I don't know,
San Pedro.
San Pedro, San Juan, even sometimes Santiago, Panajachel, and people thinks it's like because geographically it seems really close. I must warn you that boats have a schedule during the day, and normally you won't be able to catch the last boat to go back to your town. Or we have activities mostly the day we go to the forest, and which is very early. We leave very early, so you won't find any public boat to make it to San Marcos. So I would highly advise that you stay in San Marcos. It's better.
That is really fantastic advice. And so let me look, there are roads that connect most of the towns around Lake Atitlan, right? But they aren't necessarily easy to get from town to town. And at certain times of the day, it isn't always safe. Okay. And so the primary way that people move from town to town on the lake is via lancha or boat taxi, but those boat taxis only run within certain hours. And what Geraldina is pointing out is that some of the events at homecoming start before the boats start running and end after the boats stop running. So stay in San Marcos is the right advice. So last year we had some people who saw that the show ended on March 8th, and so they decided to leave on March 8th, which kind of makes sense, except that things didn't end until very late at night on March 8th. And so keeping that in mind, let me find the calendar here, and I'll answer your question very specifically. The last day of homecoming is Sunday, February 23rd. And the events are scheduled to end around 10 o'clock that night, which means that checkout day, if you're staying at La Paz, your checkout day is Monday, the 24th. If you want to stay for the whole event, we recommend you not leave the lake until at the earliest Monday, the 24th. Check-in day is Sunday the 16th. Check-in happens between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. or 3 p.m., somewhere in there, right? And it is possible to make it from the airport to San Marcos on that day. But you're going to be very tired. And we're going to have a big ceremony. We're going to have a family meal together that day after the check-in time. And so if you can, I highly recommend you come a day early or more if you can, right? And enjoy more of the lake, whatever, so that you're there and fresh on the 16th. But a lot of people arrive on check-in day, and you'll survive. You just know that it'll be a long day.
Also on that, Rick, I would advise to arrive one day earlier because otherwise you miss check-in, and it's very amazing that day because it is the actual day we meet people that we have been willing to meet for 1 year, and it's the hugs and the sharing and the laughing and the delivering of new souvenirs and everyone starts like taking pictures, and it's pretty awesome. So I wouldn't skip checking time or arriving late. Honestly, it's very precious.
I just saw that Anna has discovered the reason why we changed the dates on homecoming. It's and I didn't think it would, I didn't think she'd discover it today. I thought it would wait till we get there. But are you coming? Are you going to celebrate your birthday with us?
Are we coming, Robert? Yeah, we're coming. We're coming.
That's fantastic. I promise to have a birthday present for you.
And guess what, everybody? It's my 40th birthday.
No way. It's not
I just
fun.
realized that. I just remembered I'm going to be 40. Oh my God.
Which day, Anna?
The 17. Number one monkey. Bots. Number one monkey turns 40 at homecoming. Thanks. Thanks for listening. I can't wait. I love you all so much. We love you.
Well, we love both of you very much too. Thanks for joining us today. Even though you're in the car and driving, it's wonderful. Who else has questions?
Actually, Rick, can I share something about just the logistics of getting to the lake? For some of you, depending on what time your flight arrives, it might be too late to get to the lake because you're looking at a 4-hour drive or more, and you don't really want to arrive late at night. So you have options you can stay in Guatemala City. We have, I think in the guide, Yanthi, I think we have recommendations that, to where to stay. You don't want to spend a lot of time in Guatemala City. It's a big, noisy, dirty, not always safe city. So, but if you need a place to crash, you can stay there close to the airport. There are a lot of safe hotels, or an hour away, that is on the way to the lake, is a beautiful colonial city called Antigua. It's gorgeous, cobblestone streets, amazing artisanal shops, amazing restaurants. It's really wonderful if you want sort of like a nice sort of entry point into before you get to the lake, where it's very different, right? Much more. It feels like a throwback in time when you get to the lake because the Mayan culture is very vibrant there. So Antigua is a good stopping place, either on your way in or on your way out. So just some thoughts.
Thank you so much, Nicole. That's really good advice. Town kind of shuts down, and so at night, and people go to bed and go to sleep, right? Versus, most of the world where we live, where it stays running all night, and you can check into a hotel whenever you like. It's not going to be the case in quaint little San Marcos. I am hopeful and excited to see many of you in San Marcos this February. It's going to be a lot of firsts and new stuff, and a lot of fun, a lot of growth, and a lot of learning. Um, is there anybody else who has a question that we can, particularly new folks? Is there anything else you're wondering about? Nothing. No question is silly. And so please feel free. Is there anybody else who wants to share any of their experience at past homecomings or their excitement for the next one? Please, this is a great time to do so.
Just to add, I am posting the web pages and links to the hotels in San Marcos in the chat, and also the hotels that are nearby or wants to check. And I shared the contact for La Paz in case people wants to book extra nights in the chat.
She posted the contact at La Paz in case you're going to buy a ticket that has a La Paz room included on it, right? Or a La Paz bed. And often people want to come in a day or two early or stay a day or two after. And so you need to work with La Paz directly for those dates that aren't homecoming dates to secure your spot there. And then the links that Yerla has posted in there are hotels near the airport in Guatemala City and other hotels in San Marcos. Look, once we close this call, the chat is gone. And so I advise anyone who is interested in any of those links go and grab them right now. Okay, last call for questions or comments.
There's another question in the chat at the very end, Rick. And Hope is asking if the 25%, the sort of combined 10% early discount and the 50.
Thanks, Yanthi. So the early bird is 10% off and the practitioner discount is 15% off. And so assuming we haven't sold all the other early bird tickets, and since I last looked, which was the beginning of this call, then a practitioner who buys a ticket now would get 25% off of their complete purchase. And so if you're just buying a ticket, you get 25% off the ticket. If you're buying a ticket with a room at La Paz, you get 25% off the ticket and the room at La Paz. I hope, does that answer your question, Hope? I saw, yeah, she posted sweet. So yes, it's just the question. Thanks for pointing that out, Yanti. I had missed it.
Rick, I'd just like to say that how amazing it is to be to be there and meet all the people that work with Keith's Cacao, and to just, there's nothing that replaces that feeling of being surrounded by everybody that's got their hands in the process and the whole energy of the beautiful place. So highly recommended.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Ellen. I must tell you, as a practitioner, I don't think there is much else that lends as much credibility to your practice with cacao as being able to tell people that you have seen the process, you have met the people, you have dined with them, you have talked with them,
Absolutely.
You've seen the way it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, Yael?
I am literally trying to purchase my ticket right now, and I've got the early bird thing coming through, but it's when I put in the practitioner discount, it says the discount code isn't available to me right now.
You have to use the special practitioner only early bird discount. and it will, and so we tried to do the combining thing, but the combining thing doesn't work. And
Okay,
so there's another email that was sent in correction later on Monday that you should
okay.
have received that's got that link. If you don't have it, let me know. And
Can you privately send it to me in the chat right now so I can do it right now?
I will do that.
Thank you, because I don't know whether it went through on my phone or not. It'd take me a while and I want to make sure. I'm gonna get that spot with you, Courtney. That early bird spot.
Alicia, your hand's up.
I just want to share what just came to my mind about both of my experiences, both years, this year and last year. And it's you can feel the amount of like care and time and intentionality that goes into the planning of this event from Geraldina, Rick, everyone that participates. It all comes together so beautifully, and it's really felt. And to experience that is really powerful. That was a thing for me that really makes me want to come back. So
We hope you will. Thanks for sharing that, dear. And look, it's mostly Geraldina, right? Like I know there are other people that help her and I try to help her, right? But that's like maybe 3%.
But thank you, Geraldina, and everyone that also helped. I know Soche, she's not here, but it's just really, really everybody's very pleasant.
By the way, Sochi is starting a new business. If you don't know this, Sochi is a dive instructor, dive trainer, diver. I don't know exactly what you call it, but she's starting a dive tour business. And the last I saw, she was in the Maldives. And so my vote for Sochi has the second best life going besides me, right? Like that really sounds amazing what she's doing.
It
Kelly's
really is.
Belize. She's in Belize now.
Oh, it really is. No, she's in Maldives, but next week she will be in Bali.
Oh, so hard. I send her my prayers. I hope she can make it through. Jeez.
I know.
It's fabulous.
Yes. Her problems are like, I don't know which ticket flight to buy. Shall I go this week or shall I go next?
Such a problem, I tell you. Yeah. Kelly, you've got your hand up.
I was going to add to what Alicia said really wonderfly, and I totally agree, is just that if this also speaks to anyone who's thinking about going, I went this year totally out of like kind of just a curiosity. I did the Power of Cacao course after getting laid off from my video game job last year. And Rick was one of the first people I met after checking in. And I went up to it. He was like, how's it going? Or like, are you connecting or something? And I was like, Rick, like, I just make video games. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, this is just seemed cool. And it was really powerful. It was such a beautiful time. The community was really lovely. And I learned a lot about, like from Geraldina, of how the leadership really shapes that whole tone and the quality, and the ability for everyone to really show up wherever they are. And just doing that for like however long it was, 10 days, was really a wonderful and beautiful shift for me that still continues. So my hesitation is not based on my desire. It's purely scheduling.
How is the video game making going?
It's going. I've got a new gig, and it's a company that does games in partnership with. Actually, we're doing a game in partnership with Inupiaq, Indigenous Alaskan communities, and bringing their stories into video games. And we do other projects like that.
So I can't resist I can't resist to make this a marketing video. Do you drink cacao before you work on the games?
I do, when a lot of my work is creative collaboration and leading those conversations, and cacao is great at coming into those meetings really centered and present and like bringing a centering energy into those conversations.
Thank you for sharing that with this group. Look, one of the things that, my background is I was a business guy, and my experience and work with cacao has often been related to work. And one of the things that this group has afforded me is to understanding um, this idea of a spiritual path and what that can mean. And in my life, that's always been very separate from work, but it doesn't have to be that way. And part of one of my goals is to educate people whenever possible that this thing you drink to find a little more of who you are can also be this inspirational beverage that makes work full of joy and more creative and more heart centered. So thanks for sharing, Kelly. I appreciate it, dear. I hope you can make it and join us. Yeah, you still have your hand up, and I don't know if that's a legacy hand up or if that's a new hand up.
It's a legacy hand up, and I'm still having trouble with it accepting that code. So I'll keep trying.
Did you get the one I sent you? Are you using your practitioner sign in? And maybe
I'm trying to log out of everything and go in new now because Angie sent me the right code and you sent me the link. So I'm just going to try again. And yeah, Courtney forwarded me the email. Yeah, because I want to, since I'm doing this now and I've got only, 3 spots left or 2 spots left?
Well, yeah, no, I think it's only 1 spot left. So you need to try
It's fine. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying. All right, we'll see what happens. I'm trying. But no, I did not re-raise my hand.
Okay, well, I just wanted to make sure.
Sorry.
Alla's got her hand up. Hello, Alla.
That's not a butt dial hand. That was a real hand. Yeah, I just want to it's funny how much cacao still surprises me.
Can you stop for just a second? Can you stop? Look, I want to introduce you. For those of you who don't know Alla or didn't get to meet her at homecoming, her and her partner Herb own a retreat center / school called the Black Lotus, which is located directly across the street from Keith's Tire. It's located on the lakeside, and it is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I've had the great pleasure of staying there. We had the great pleasure of sharing cacao, or no, let me rephrase, of receiving cacao and ceremony from her and Herb in their raised, enclosed, all glass platform that looks out on the lake. It's stunning and beautiful. And so I'm sorry, I felt it was important for everybody to kind of know who you are.
Thanks, Rick. That's so nice. And also Herb wanted to be here, but he's back in Guatemala right now and the power is out in San Marcos. So no Zoom for him, but I'm in Texas right now visiting family. So it's just an unexpected gift that I can be here. Yeah, no, all I wanted to say is I'm on this call because I just needed this little mini retreat from my work day. And I looked at my meetings today and this call was exactly the only hour that I had free that wasn't a meeting. I'm like, well, there's a sign. Thanks, Cacao Spirit. So honestly, just seeing all your faces is recharging me, along with this little cup of connection. So yeah, I just want to say thank you all for I know it's always beautiful how there's a lot of people I know well. There's people that I'm looking forward to meeting in February, which sounds far away, but is going to be here in a minute. So yeah, it's just there's really nothing there's nothing
you just made Geraldina really panic.
No, it's a minute and a half. Yeah,
yeah, you got 90 seconds. Everything ready, Geraldine. That's it. Yeah.
No, it's the perfect amount of time to get all this together and get this amazing group together. So yeah, it's I know like Rick knows better than anyone. Herb and I are very still uncertain about our overall geographic future and where we're going to be spending the majority of the year. But I mean, as of now, our San Marcos Center and is exactly where it is, and I know it's connected to cacao and Keith's Cacao in a big way. I don't think it's a mistake that it's right across from the chocolate factory. So I think it's the I can say with 99% certainty that we'll be at homecoming, but always just leaving that 1% for something. But you know, I adore this group so much, and yeah, so just really just have gratitude for you guys showing up today. I know everyone's busy and has stuff going on, but I'm glad that, and like an event that happens once a year can like still have its tentacles in the entire year and beyond. Like, yeah, just hearing what, like sharing what people say about the connections that they make there, just change your life in big and small ways. So I know it's changed mine and just continues to do that. So yeah, just much love for all of you guys, and
Thank
thanks.
you. Oh, thanks, dear. Thanks for sharing. Well, thanks for joining us today. I hope you get a little time off after this. It's Friday, right? It's Friday. Jody, it's lovely to see you here. You came to homecoming 2 years ago, right? Are we gonna get you to come out again sometime? You must be here. Are you here for like Allah because you're just like, I just want a little break, or are you here because I should think about that?
I'm here for, I guess, multiple reasons. I just homecoming was like very close to my heart and really influenced me, even though, as you said, it was a couple of years ago. So there's some people here that I didn't meet, but yeah, so it's sort of reconnecting and definitely open to the possibility of going again. So yeah, just taking it in and taking in this community.
Thanks for being here with us today, dear. Lotte, are you? I know I got a message from you the other day that says, I'm not sure. I don't know what's happening in the world yet. It's lovely to see you here. You're muted, I think. You're, oh, we can't hear you for some reason. No, you're unmuted, but we can't hear you. It must be a speaker problem or a microphone, rather.
Now?
Yes.
Yes, it was my speaker. I was probably something wrong. Yeah.
Tell everybody where you are in
I can't hear you. What did you say?
where are you in the
I'm in
world?
Norway. In Norway, where it's sunny today, but almost always raining this summer. So it's crap.
Oh,
So, so I will probably need to go to Guatemala this winter to get some sunshine. So yeah, I really hope that I can find a way to get money enough to go. Right now, it's I have no idea how that will work out, but I never do, and it always works out. So I guess it will. Just, yeah.
we look forward to seeing you again this year when things work out for sure.
It will.
And I see
Last year, this year, so yeah.
I'm sorry, dear, I missed the last thing that you said.
I just said it was so nice being there this year, so I want to do it again. I
We'd
want to
love to
connect
see.
with you all, and yeah, it's just beautiful.
We'd love to see you. Cindy's on this call. Cindy's been to at least one, no, two homecomings now, right? Or is it more?
It's been two.
Three? Two.
It would be third if I go in February. It'll be third.
Are you on an airplane right now?
I am on an airplane right now. I'm gonna go to do a cacao ceremony in Tennessee.
No, what part of Tennessee?
Johnson City.
Oh, beautiful. Right on the Virginia border. Yep.
Yes, I'm being picked up in Nashville.
Lovely. Congratulations. That's fantastic. Cindy lives in Chicago, so this isn't like just across the street. She's going to have a cacao ceremony.
Yes.
Have fun, and we hope you'll find a way to us again at homecoming this year.
It's very magical. And the peace of my heart is very much in Guatemala, especially at the lake. Deep, deep level. We're doing magical work.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
From the cockpit, here we go. We're going to Asheville, and it's going to take about an hour.
I love how committed people are to being on these calls.
Yes,
Just like
I'm getting on an
like
airplane. Shh, everybody be quiet. Don't let anybody know I'm on the phone.
well, just like Allah, this hour worked out. So thank you.
I have stories to tell about Power of Cacao calls, like the time Alicia was on the call. And I'm like, why are you lying down? Like she's lying like this. She's like this on the call. And I'm like, what's going on? And there was someone behind her. She's like, I'm getting a tattoo. During class, she was getting a tattoo that she had received, right? A download from in Guatemala at homecoming. And then just this week, we had someone in class saying, Nicole, is it okay? I'm getting my hair braided. Is it okay if I'm in class with someone behind me braiding my hair? I'm like, of course. Like, if you're that committed to come, you are meant to be here. So I love this community.
So I know of one of Alicia's tattoos is a cacao pod. Was that the tattoo you were getting? You have two cacao pods now. Was that the tattoo you were getting on the Power of Cacao call?
The one that I got was the cacao pod with a hummingbird was last year, and then the cacao pod rocket ship was this year when I got home. And
They're
it's still
lovely.
going. This arm's
They're
still
lovely.
going.
That was the cacao pod I got in Guatemala this year. It's
Amazing.
Amazing. And
we should tell people there is a danger when you go to homecoming that you will come home with a tattoo. Mine's back here from the first homecoming.
You should
it's a thing.
Arrange with Diego to put discount vouchers in with the homecoming tickets.
That's right. Homecoming includes a tattoo. Yes. You know, she has her camera off. I don't know if she's still with us or not, but I think this is the Angie we have on here is Angie Conrad, who just bought a ticket to join us. Angie, can you hear us? Am I correct?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh my God. Angie, if I remember correctly, you run a cafe.
I do. I actually just stepped away from it July 1st. So I'm excited to open my wings and find my home
next.
with cacao.
And I think you live in a fabulously beautiful section of West Virginia. Do I have that right?
I do, yeah.
No, we're excited to get a chance to meet you in person at homecoming. Thanks so much for buying a ticket.
Yeah, I'm grateful to be here. This was really encouraging. And yeah, I bought my ticket on the call. It felt really aligned, and I was inspired to get connected more deeply.
Beautiful. We can't wait to meet you in person. Thank you so much. Is there anybody else who has questions or would like to share something or talk about something? It's so hard to step away from this group when we all get together. But I imagine that there are people who have other things to do right now. Geraldine, I'm thinking about you, maybe as well. Although I think you just disappeared. Oh, you raised your hand. That's why you disappeared. You went to the other side of the screen. You don't have to raise your hand. You just get to talk.
I know. I'm just being silly. So I want to apologize because before I just lost my voice because as some of you know, I'm doing like very deep detoxing and my throat is just very funny with it because I believe I have some parasites and things going on. But anyways, so I want to mention something very important, if I may, Rick, about the homecoming. And I think about the honey and the bees and everything. You all have an idea of what it will be like, so I will not extend on that anymore. But there is something very important and precious that will happen in this year during homecoming. I think you all will be thrilled to know. We will be crossing the Mayan New Year in the calendar. Yes, so that day is on the 18th of February. We will be changing the carrier from the Nog, which is the woodpecker, this year, and we will be changing to Ik, which is the hummingbird. And it's not a it's if that's not big enough, we are changing to Oshlahuch Ik, which is the 13th hummingbird, which is like the shift, because in next year we will be going for one again. So we are going for like the highest of the highest energies in the hummingbird, which is the magic and the sound and the creation and a lot of many things. And we will be celebrating that during homecoming in a very nice particular Mayan fire ceremony. And I know in most of the hearts that are sitting here and that were in homecoming last year, we were all in our own particular way saying our goodbyes to kids from our heart. And we went there all together as family to do that and to be able to face that he was not longer here in physical reality, in physical realm. And this year, I can assure you, because I feel it in my heart, in this particular fire ceremony, we will be welcome him back as an ancestor in our lives. So really, I think it will be amazing to be all there together. And I don't see anything more magical than that happening like for us as the family we are, than to welcome him back as an ancestor. That will be like precious, honestly. And I don't know about you, but I won't be missing it. And that's
You
my
can't miss
heart.
it.
Yes,
You're
I
not
know.
allowed to miss it.
This one particular thing, I think it will be precious in most of our hearts. For people that has not been in homecoming, I mean, there is many things that could be said, but the people that has attended previously, I think they all shared what this is all about. This is all about the family, the family we are, and that we, even though we are in different parts of the world, we know there is a big community that can hold us wherever we are at in our lives at any moment. And that is gold, actually. That is the real gold we have to pursue in our lives. So please join us in Homecoming 2025. It will be amazing.
Thank you very much, Yara. I hope your throat and you in general are much better very soon.
Thank you, Rick.
You know, before we leave this call, there are a couple of names still on the call. Wendy Broad and Mary Fletcher Burke. And I want to acknowledge you both for being here. Your names I don't know. And so thank you for joining us. And uh, if either of you have any questions and you don't feel comfortable asking them here, you're more than welcome to email us at info@keyscacao.com, and someone on the team will get back to you very, very soon.
Well, and I just have to share that Wendy and I'm in Topanga Canyon near LA, and she's in Burbank, and we're sharing cacao this afternoon. So
oh, fantastic.
Coming here.
Wendy, you just ask Nicole then.
That's right. Yeah. She can come direct.
Yael, I'm seeing your message, and I'll text you. It may be that they're just already sold out, dear. And if that's the case, then I will convert you to the practitioner discount and send that your way. It is
no issue with that, since I've tried to do it before everything. I've been trying to do it for a half hour, but it's still, the 10% discount still comes up. It's the 15% on top of that won't come up.
I will write you an email afterwards, and I'll go investigate what's going on and see what we can do. And
Okay,
send you an email
because essentially I was doing this in time to get it. So
it is always a pleasure to get to host one of these calls. The rest of my day will be largely all smiles because of the energy that I receive from spending time with all of you. Thank you so very much for being willing to come here and either reconnect with your homecoming family or come here to learn more about what it would be like to attend homecoming. I'm super excited to go see the bees, to travel back to the rainforest, to spend time sharing you with all of our team members who work in Guatemala, so that not only can you see the work that they do, but they can understand the impact that their work has on your life and in your communities. It's a beautiful circle. I'm wishing you all a absolutely fantastic weekend. Right? May we all meet again in Guatemala very, very soon. Much love, everyone. Goodbye
Bye, everyone.
now.
So much.